What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back. Episode 43, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. This one's energy is a little bit different. I'm talking with you guys today about humility and the I don't know energy and how it actually serves our spiritual expansion, how it's showing up in my life right now to own that space of, and how I've transitioned to understand the dynamics of this potency of having humility, but also too of using the I don't know as fuel for curiosity, experiences, evolution. And I love talking about this. You're going to see in this podcast episode, my energy is different, which I love because I'm channeling in an energetic space of like, let's be around a fireside chat and have a conversation. So it's a whole different vibe today. And I desire that because I think the multifaceted ways that we get to show up and be in this life are in different energies. They are embodied in different aspects to who we are. And I love that. And I love that we get to do this. I love that we get to hold space together. And I love that you're here. So if you see or feel or vibe with anything moving through this podcast, like always, I always encourage you guys to step in, snap a photo of it, tag me on Instagram. Let's chat, let's talk, because I love to know what people are feeling and seeing through this. And I'm just super grateful for all of the dynamics. So with no further ado, episode 43, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back. Oh man, episode 43. And this energy that I'm moving through today is very grounded. And it's an open conversation that I desire to have with you guys today. So I want to talk with you guys about the word humility and the words, I don't know everything. And this kind of triggered into my field of awareness while I was at the gym this morning. And for those of you guys new to the podcast, welcome. It's amazing to have you guys here. This podcast is all about transparency, speaking truth, really honing in on the conversations that we desire to have to move the collective of energy forward, to really embody and step into our next levels, to hold the space of truth moving through the collective energy field, and to really, have those conversations about ownership and personal ownership and the ownership of the collective. And so I'm in the middle of a workout this morning, doing my back, which I don't really desire to do, but now I need to be doing more often because anyways, my body in the front is really tight because it's moved forward. So I've got to extend back. So I've got to do more work in the back part of my body. And I'm in the middle of literally a round on the lat pull down machine. And I'm listening to a podcast because I really, for those of you guys that don't know me that well, I am all about growth information, tapping into new things, getting really curious about life, really stepping into this mechanism of truth and really exploring in life. So I'm listening to this podcast and it's done by a coach and he made a mention I don't know everything. And I went, oh yeah, that is so true. And that brought into this field of awareness for me to speak to you guys today about this concept and about this actual vibrational energy and the ownership of us actually saying into the world, I don't know, and the power that those words actually hold. Because I feel, and if you're like me, you grew up in, I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I was, a daughter, and I also had a brother. So we were two siblings. I was the oldest. And somewhere in my world, I believe that I wasn't good enough for my parents. So most of my life, I was trying to prove myself in my world and in my life. And everything for me was one of those competitive things, competitive edges. I needed to know everything to feel important. And because I had this circulatory energy moving through my field of wanting attention and desiring attention, that showed up often in my life, including the choices of men that I made, the jobs and careers that I moved into, the effective and efficiency of me at my work, and all of that moved into my awareness. So actually back in the day, saying, I don't know, felt like a weakness. And it felt like I couldn't hold that space and I needed to know everything and I needed to have all the answers and I needed. And that was the energy of need, meaning it was driven by a lack energy, a lack in the field of awareness. And today, I have no issue with saying, I don't know, because I really don't. I met this guy on Voxer. Okay, Voxer is not a dating app. Voxer is an app that I use for coaching And all of a sudden, this guy jumped into my Voxer, and technically Voxer is an open platform. So you can actually approach people this way, and move some stuff through in this mechanism. And I was like, I'm going to entertain this for a little bit and just see what this is, because I am open to this conversation. I'm open. I've said to the universe, I'm ready. Like, I've done the work on myself. I vibrate in the field of the man that I desire. I'm working on a couple other things right now that are moving through quickly in my awareness. And by September, which is where I feel like my guy's going to drop in this year. And just for those of you guys listening, it's July right now. So in case you listen to this in like December, just giving you context. And I feel like he's coming in around September, October. So I've got a couple months to kind of get those last pieces of alignment in order to get my body moving in the desire that I want my body to move, and all those things, right? So we're chatting in Voxer here and there, and he irks my energy a little bit, but I'm like, let's go through this experience and see what this is. And then he says to me, how do you feel about my energy? And how do you feel about this or whatever it was? And I was like, I'm not tapped into you, so I don't know, because I literally wasn't on purpose using my channeling skill set to be in this relationship. I was being a human in this perspective. And although, yeah, I got a good head on my shoulders, and yeah, my intuition is super channeled in, I was just curious about what this would be like. And some days, really owning the fact that I don't know the answers. Can I get them? Yeah, I can. Can I tap into them intuitively and channel through them? I can. I have that ability. And that is one of the gifts or the talents I purposely brought to this earth because of the dynamics of experiences I was going to go through. And I say that with so much love and grace for myself, because of the choices that I made when I was younger and that movement forward in my world. But that was a thing, and that is still a thing in my life right now. But there's times that I just don't know. And do I actually want to know? No, and I'm okay with that. And I've actually learned to be okay with that. So as I thought about this morning, working out, being on the machine, hearing this come from another coach, I never tell my clients that I know everything. And my job as a coach is literally to help them feel their intuition more, to be able to make decisions in their power. And that's my job. Like, that is literally part of my mission, is to accelerate that in their field. So there's not a time now where I would say I know everything, but there's a time sometimes that moves through the field where people are asking me for advice or they want some guidance, and I can tap into that. But is that the be all end all? No. Because what if the guidance I say to you goes against what you're actually feeling in your intuitive flow? And I would rather you trust that than listen to me, right? And that is the most powerful thing that I want to hit home today, is you knowing you and your intuitive flow. And no matter what your coach says or what that person says, like, I just started working with a new one-to-one coach. Literally, our second call is going to be tonight. And I said to him last week, I said, look, I will always communicate with you if something doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right in my field, we're not doing it. Okay. Because that's just the hard no. Like, when we talk about a boundary, that's what it is. Even if you think it could make me 7 figures, even if this, but he doesn't feel like he's that kind of guy anyways. Like, we have this really reciprocal energy. So it builds in that movement. And I already feel like he's tapped in enough to me to know what we're playing with here, what game we're in together as we move this through. And his game plan is juicy. Like, it just is. And it's moving. And I feel it in my field. And I'm like, okay, we got this. We got this. We got this. Like, it just feels like it's that a beautiful, amazing reciprocation of energy. And as I feel this out and I flow through this, with him, with me in this expansion space, I'm going to say to you, in the humility of this, you need to start trusting yourself, and you need to start making moves in that space. Now, you don't need to do anything. And I use that word on purpose to hit home an energy into your field. But it's time that you start to lean in. If your energy is clear and you've been doing the work and you've been really healing yourself and stepping in, then the voices dropping into you are your purity of light. They're not in distortion. They're not coming in, in a shadow energy. They're coming in the purity of your light. Now, some of you guys are still playing in shadow, so you may need to clear that shit before you can actually start to listen to this, because you're listening to the wrong energy if you are desiring to step into your light and make your impact and really move and accelerate and amplify. If you don't desire that, then go ahead and play in that field of awareness over here in whatever land you're playing in dimensional alignment that you're playing with. But I can probably make up that 99% of the people listening to this podcast, or probably even 100 of them, 100% of you guys are actually desiring more impact, more light, more love, more joy, more peace, and just living the life that you desire. Because I don't feel like you would be inclined to be listening to a Light Warriors Unleashed podcast if you weren't, right? So I want to emphasize this point in you right now. If your energy is stuck and you're unmotivated and you are like, shit storms are happening around you, you probably need to be cleared. And if you don't have the capacity to do that, send me a DM. We can chat about it, because I do Akashic Records clearings. I actually train in the Akashic Records. And if you don't know what those are, you can definitely go and take a look at them. But this is a way to potently clear the soul. Now, I've done a lot of work even just last week in connection with clearing demons, with clearing entities, with clearing out energies in certain people's fields, like past life energies, all of that stuff. That all shows up in the way that I work within the records. So if you feel that, go for it. But I want you to really understand that your intuition is peaked right now. It's guiding you. Now, whether you're listening to it or not, that's up to you to step into that space. But I can guarantee you, if you start to move within that field and start to take action there and invest in yourself that way, or step into the dynamics of change that you're desiring, or you're being called to breath work, let's say, or you're being called to yoga, or you're being called to work out, if you start leaning into that energetic space, things are going to shift and change for you. But until you make it that decision and trust your intuitive flow and trust inside of yourself that you're moving in this direction, none of the changes are going to start to happen. None of the changes are going to move through, and you're going to keep cycling in the exact same pattern that you've been playing in for weeks, months, years, sometimes lifetimes, right? And we're at that cusp and that edge. And I want to talk with you guys today about the humility aspect of this whole entire thing. It's like, when you are purely in a vibration of spiritual alignment and you are moving through this expansion spiritually and moving the energy through your fields and really stepping into this space, you have humility, because you already know that you don't know it all, right? You are a human in this experience, and you've dropped in with some skill sets, and you dropped in with a pathway, and you dropped in with a pillar here inside of this space to execute, to move through. That's yours, your vibration, your energy, your light codes, your energetics within you. But when we keep expanding and growing and shifting, we drop into more and more humility inside of us, going, this isn't me, right? This isn't me. I'm following the guidance within my soul. I'm following the call. And people are like, oh my God, Colleen, do you know what you did for me? Or, oh my God, da, da, da. And I'm like, I understand. I really do. And my ego wants to take all the fucking credit. It's going, yeah, that was fucking us. That's because of us. And I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out, right? It's because I'm following the mission. I'm following the calling in my heart. I'm following God's plan, universal alignment, the divine source that's moving through me. I'm following that. And as I follow that, impact is made. As I follow that call, I get to move through and experience with people. I get to shift energy. I get to help them step into the space of healing. I get to open up the pathway for them so that they can fully understand who the fuck they really are. That's my mission. And can I take the accolades? Sure. I receive them when they come in. I receive them. I drop them into my heart, and I go, guys, meaning my divine connection, my guides, my higher self, my soul. I'm like, guys, okay, we're on the path. We're doing some good things. Let's keep moving. How do we amplify this more? How do we get more people to shift into this? How do we get more people circulating through their stuff to get out of the rat race that they've been fucking in for so long, of scarcity, of lack, of fear, of anxiety, of depression, of all the stupid bullshit that's been going on in our awareness? It's time to move through this. And I'm one piece in the whole entire puzzle mechanism. And I know my piece, and I do my piece well. You know why? Because I trust my piece. And every day I step in and I trust and I trust and I trust. And even on the days where I'm like, oh my God, are you sure? Because I'm like, can I actually do this? I can. And I trust even more, and I trust even more, and I trust even more. And I drop in and I keep moving, and I drop in and I keep moving. And that's where we're at. But I also hold this humility that it's like, it's not me, really. my humans taking the action, my humans having courage, my humans making the bold moves, my humans fighting the fight, my human for sure. And I give her accolades. And my spirit is leading the way and I'm following the spirit. But if I sat here today and said to you, guys, it's all me, it's fucking bullshit, because it's not. Sure, I'm doing the work. Sure, I'm the one showing up at the gym every day. Sure, I'm the one that's making the protein. Like I made this new like mocha coffee with my protein powder. It's fucking bomb. Sure, I'm the one making my mocha protein powder. Like I'm making that coffee, in the mornings. Yeah, I'm the one meditating. Yes, I'm the one connecting in. Yes, I'm the one launching. I am. But I'm not the one guiding the ship. And if I start to drop into the space to say that I am, it's fucking a lie. Because I'm not. I'm following the guidance of my soul's connection in the divine path that I'm being called to. And some days I don't know. And I'm so okay with that. And I love that I don't know, because that leaves us so much more room for open and growth and discovery and connection and learning from others. I was sitting here at the gym today doing my back workout, listening to this podcast, and they were talking about celibacy and they were talking about relationships and divine, like sacred union relationships. And I'm sitting here going, I can't wait to discover life with someone, to really discover life with someone, to learn from them, to experience with them, to heal more depthfully with them, because that's what's going to happen in the space of I've done a lot of work on myself, but once I get into that relationship, it's going to be now the implementation of a lot of that work, right? I used to be a really jealous person because I had very low self-esteem and low self-worth. I shifted a lot of that, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shows up now in my relationships. And I'm curious about it. And do I know what that's going to look like? Fuck no. And you know what? I love that I don't know. I really love that I don't know. I love that I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I love living in this vibrational life this way. Now, it's not for everyone, because some of you guys need plans and you desire that, and your soul calls out for structure and timelines, and it's juicy for you. That shit's not juicy for me. Now, I've done a lot of work to be able to step into that, to hold the capacity of this. But I wanted to jump on today and you can tell the vibration of my energy today is a lot softer, because I'm in the humility energy of that I don't know. And I wanted to gift you guys this perspective today, because I really feel that as we grow and learn and we move through this, and we're going to come up against this conversation within ourselves. And like literally last week, someone says to me, do you know how much of an impact that you're making in the world? And I could say, yes, I do know. And I could say, no, I have no idea. Both are relevant, and both are actually purely the truth, because I do know, but I also don't know, because I don't know where the ripple effect is moving. Me showing up here every single week on a podcast for you, I don't know what that's creating in the world. I always encourage you guys to go on and share and tag me on Instagram. Do you know how many people do that? Not a lot. So I don't know. And we're getting hundreds of downloads a month now. Like I'm watching an increase all the time. And the week's about to move into hundreds of downloads a week, like in each different podcast in different ways. And I'm like, we're making a movement. But who it's moving through, I don't know. What ripple effect it's moving through, no idea. But you know what? I love that I don't know. I love that I don't know. I love it, because it gives me a whole new playing field of curiosity, and a whole new playing field of learning, and a whole new way to live in life. So where can you own the I don't know energy in your field if that feels called to you? Where do you desire to have more humility in your life, so you can connect deeper, you can see things in a bigger perspective? Because that's, I think, what we all kind of want, to live a life of pure joy and ease, to be surprised sometimes, because we're so much in flow that some days our breath gets taken away by the beauty of the earth, of the world, of humanity. Like I love that. Like I got to go on Saturday out with some friends to Manuel Antonio Beach, which is about an hour from where I live. It's kind of resort-like-ish beach, the most resort-ish place that's close to me. Now, I live in the southern Pacific side of Costa Rica on the ocean, right? So like, I don't live in resort town. We don't have resorts here. Like that's not the mechanism. I live in a working town. So I live in the heart of Costa Rica. I can be up the mountain in 15 minutes in the middle of the jungle. Like I literally live beside like all of this greenery, which is a little bit hard to see just with the video today, but I live beside a river. Like spiders and snakes and geckos and bugs are in my house. Every day I wake up to bugs dead on my floor. Every day. And how they get in, I have no fucking idea. But they get in to my house every day, and I honor them because we're in this collective energy together. But I see life differently when I look from the eye of curiosity and when I don't hold all the control like I used to try to, which is like totally an illusion anyways. So where in your life do you desire more humility? Where in your life do you desire to connect deeper inside of yourself to be able to move some stuff through? And that's the game, I think, that this week we could play within. And whenever you listen to this podcast is exactly perfect. And I see this all the time because this is your time to move through this energy, your time to acknowledge it, to be with it, to maneuver through this. And I love this. I really do. I love this life. I love sharing this way. I love being able to support you guys through this podcast and step into this space. And I really am holding space for all of you because I believe in divine connection. I believe that we can actually have everything that we desire in life if we are willing to release our shit and we're willing to step in and do the work. And if you're willing to do that, guess what? It's all possible. So I'll leave you guys with that today. Coming off of episode 43, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And thank you guys for being here and being in my field.